The most heartbreaking type of mystery is that of missing persons cases. Some investigations are never solved, with their cases growing cold, but that does not mean the intrigue and mystery surrounding their unusual disappearances fades. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 unsolved missing cases. Rachel Cook. Rachel Louise Cook was last seen in Georgetown, Texas on the 10th of January 2002. She was a 19-year-old student of Mesa Junior College. Rachel was spending winter break at her parents' house when she disappeared. She allegedly went on a morning run from which she never returned. Investigators claim she likely left her home at 9:30 a.m. She was spotted by her neighbors at 11 a.m. 200 yards from her house, but Rachel never made it home. When her father, Robert, arrived home at 3 p.m. to take his daughter shopping, she was nowhere to be found. Her family started a wide-scale search for her, but not a single clue or trace of her was ever discovered to allude to her whereabouts. A car with white and black stripes along the hood was seen riding around Rachel's neighborhood on the tragic day, but revealed no outward suspects. In 2006, Michael Keith Moore, an inmate, confessed to taking the life of Rachel Cook whilst already convicted for taking the life of someone else. Moore declared he kidnapped her and hit her using a hammer, then dropped her remains into the Gulf of Mexico. Despite his accurate confession, the charges were dropped when Moore confessed to lying about what happened before he was set to plead guilty. The case reopened in 2017 when someone tipped the authorities about traces of a buried body in a field, thinking it might belong to her, but they found nothing from the investigation. The following year, the police announced they found a car matching the description of the one seen riding in her neighborhood the day of her disappearance, a Pontiac Trans. The car was found in Dallas. The car was analyzed with the hopes of finding DNA samples. The analysis of the trunk of the car revealed the possible presence of blood. A search was conducted in December 2020, but its results are unknown. As recently as January 2021, authorities publicly stated they were searching for a man who they believe has intel about her disappearance, who lived in Georgetown in 2002 and knew Rachel. It's thought this man was part of the cattle industry and that he possesses details which might help the case. It's thought he is attempting to distance himself from the case, but allegedly this individual mentioned specific details of the disappearance to his friend, which put the police on edge. Unfortunately, in 2014, Rachel's father passed away, never knowing what became of his daughter. There is a $100,000 reward for those who are able to assist in the solving of the case or who possess valuable information regarding it. Now, 20 years later, it's unlikely that the mystery will ever be solved, but hope continues. Authorities doubt Rachel is still alive, but if she is, that would make her 39 years old. Throughout these 2 decades, the family and county sheriff's office have tracked down a myriad of fruitless anonymous tips. Rachel's mother holds out faith for the truth, having stated, "Somebody out there knows something. There is no doubt in my mind. It's just a matter of them knowing they need to come forward with that information." As a child, Rachel put her handprint on the wooden panel in her home. All 3 of my children put their little handprints and wrote their name. Rachel did a happy face with a freckle. This, along with photographs and souvenirs, are all a mother has left of her daughter. Nikki McCoy. Marilyn Renee McCoy, known as Nikki, disappeared on July 22, 2001 in Richmond, Indiana. When she vanished, Nikki was 28 years old and the mother of a 9-year-old girl. She was also engaged to Bobby Webster and worked as a prison guard and was one of 10 children stemming from a close and loving family. 3 weeks before her wedding day, she visited her mother. Nikki was allegedly distraught over being harassed by 2 men at a laundromat. The men frightened her to the degree she was unable to retrieve her laundry but eventually left to pick it up. And just like that, she disappeared. Authorities claim there were no traces of foul play or a clear motive for her disappearance. On the day of her vanishing, her fiancé Bobby was at a tuxedo shop with his best man with the intent of meeting with Nikki later that day to spend quality time together. Her family worked closely with the police to theorize the reasons for her disappearance. The first theory was that she was kidnapped by the two men who accosted her that day. However, they were never identified or found. The second suspect was Bobby, due to his strange behavior following her disappearance. He cancelled their wedding instead of postponing it. Secondly, he asked for her community college tuition back and was angered upon the discovery it was paid by for her workplace. Thirdly, Bobby attempted to return his wedding ring but could not because it was bought under Nikki's name. According to him, it was out of a desire to obtain the necessary funds to continue searching for her and to purchase a mobile phone, which at the time was still a luxury item. Bobby was tested using a polygraph test he allegedly failed, but his lawyer argues he was not permitted to see the results. Her car was found 3 months later outside of an apartment in Ohio in Dayton, which was a 45-minute drive from her Richmond home. The police found evidence that the car had been meddled with, a broken door lock and stolen stereo, but without a trace of fingerprints or DNA for potential suspects. Nikki's laundry was still within the car, meaning she safely left the laundromat. Nikki's ex lived in the apartment where her car was found, but had a solid alibi of working the day she vanished and is believed by the police to be uninvolved in the case due to a successful polygraph test. Nikki had a co-worker in Dayton and could have driven to them after picking up her laundry. A prominent theory suggests the guilty party drove the car to the apartment to conceal their involvement. This theory strengthened Bobby as the main suspect despite his claims of innocence. Finally, Tommy Swint, her co-worker, was a third suspect, a security guard and corrections officer. Swint attempted to join the police force but was made to resign due to being a suspect in the case. In 2007, the police were contacted and told to investigate Swint via Tina Ivory, who at the time was a Dayton prostitute, but her life was taken from her in 1991, and who Swint supposedly dated. Nikki's sister revealed in 2008 that Swint and Nikki had an affair. In the same year, the blood and semen on Tina were matched with Swint's DNA. Swint took his life before he could be prosecuted. He is now considered the prime suspect not only in Nikki's case, but in multiple others. But this case is to forever remain unsolved, given Swint is deceased and unable to testify or be charged. Her body was never found, and she's still officially reported as missing. Molly Bish. Molly Bish disappeared in 2000 in Warren, Massachusetts, at age 16. She worked as a lifeguard at Commons Pond, a woodland location. Maggie, her mother, dropped her off only to be contacted by the authorities 3 hours later when she was told the pond had no lifeguard present. Her mother found Molly's belongings by the shore, but no Molly. Authorities searched the woods but did not find her. There was no sign of foul play, but the police and her family believed she was taken. Maggie thinks a man she spotted in a white car by the lake might have been the culprit. He was allegedly seen at a nearby cemetery soon after Molly disappeared. A website and email chain were created to get the word of her vanishing out to the world. Sketch artist Jeanne Boylan was commissioned to draw the prospective kidnapper in 2001. However, the sketch provided no leads, and neither the man nor Molly have ever been seen again. Molly's parents promote child safety in the hopes of stopping other parents from suffering as they have. Molly's body was found in 2003 at Whiskey Hill, 3 miles from Commons Pond. No cause of death was determined, but it was believed to be a homicide. There is a $100,000 reward for those offering information that will apprehend the culprit. There are several suspects, including offenders Robert Burno, Rodney Stanger, and Gerald Battistoni. All 3 match the culprit's description and were in the area during the time of her abduction. Battistoni attacked and drowned another victim in the past, but he passed away in 2014. Holly Parainen, a 10-year-old girl, was kidnapped and her young life taken from her 7 years prior to Molly's passing. Molly wrote to Holly's family after she vanished. The 2 cases are extremely alike. Like Molly, Holly's culprit still has not been confirmed despite potential suspects. New DNA testing has been conducted since 2019, and authorities state it might give insight into who took the life of Molly Bish. a new suspect was added in 2021, Frank Sumner Sr., who has been a recurring person of interest for years, but the police were recently able to confirm information they received about him in an anonymous tip. Sumner took and attacked a girl in 1981, was convicted, then released for parole in 1998. He was free during the time of Molly's abduction. Sumner passed away in 2016 without being charged, but the investigation is ongoing. The pain of the families of these victims is unimaginable, and we can only hope that they will someday find closure. But what are your thoughts on these cases? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.